I'm so delighted to have Claire Swinarski with us. She's from the Catholic Feminist podcast. Thanks so much for being with us today, Claire.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
So tell viewers a little bit about the Catholic Feminist podcast.
Sure. The Catholic Feminist is a podcast that embraces the teachings of the church and the importance of feminism. So we define feminism as the equality of the dignity and worth of men and women. So echoing a lot of sentiments from St. John Paul II and all of his writings on women, we talk about issues in the church, issues in the world, and how they affect Catholic women, because we believe that women bring a lot of important qualities to the table, like our generosity, our relationships, our communication. And so we interview women about all kinds of real issues, from addiction to eating disorders to sex trafficking to racism, really covering a wide gamut of issues.
That is so wonderful, because I think that's a common misconception about the Catholic Church, is that we somehow have women lower on the list. And I love that you're talking about those issues. It's so important. We've been talking a lot about the Me Too and Time's Up movement. What's your reaction to all of that?
Sure. So I think the Me Too movement is sometimes really understood because the people who are promoting it don't necessarily promote other Catholic ideals. And so we'll kind of see like Hollywood stars doing it and we'll say, oh, but they're in this movie that has all these morals we don't like. But I think it's really important to find common ground with all kinds of women, including ones that don't disagree with us. So the Me Too movement is really all about exposing things and bringing problematic situations to the light. And that's what we're told to do in the Bible, right? Jesus says that people fear the light because they don't want themselves to be seen, but we should always be trying to expose problems that women are facing. And so I think the Me Too movement is a really great opportunity for women to point out that there's a lot of times when being a woman can be either dangerous or frustrating, and we're facing a lot of issues that men just don't necessarily realize are even happening. So I think it's really great to be pointing out that these things are happening and saying that it's time that we really start dealing with them in a realistic way.
That's so good. It's so important. This is a debated topic. In your opinion, can men be feminists?
Yes, absolutely, men can be feminists, right? If we're working from the right definition. I think people get confused about what feminism means, and they think that it means man-hating or bringing men down, but that's not true at all. We just want to be on an equal playing field in terms of our dignity and worth, which is how we were made to be. Men can do all kinds of feminist things, right? They can treat the women around them with dignity. They can protect women and defend them. They can encourage the women in their lives to live out what God's calling them to live out. You know, if you're married, you can encourage your wife to explore career opportunities and hobbies that are of interest to her that maybe society has told her that women can't do. And also just acknowledging women for doing a lot of the unseen work that they do. You know, women do so much that doesn't necessarily get noticed, especially in family life. You know, women are so often the ones who are juggling the kids' schedules and things like that that don't get noticed. Or, you know, our religious sisters. I think a lot of people point out that women can't be priests, but we have so many religious sisters doing amazing things, and they should be acknowledged and held up as well. And men can do all of that work. I think it's actually really important that men would be feminists and kind of stand alongside women in this issue.
So do you think it's good that issues like Me Too and Time's Up are coming to light? You touched on the fact that, you know, it's so important to bring these things into the light. How do you think that's going to impact society in a positive way?
Absolutely. I think that when we point out that these things are happening, we're reminding women of their inherent dignity, and we're saying that their experiences matter. I think for a long time, women have basically been told that that's just the way it is. Like, you're just going to get catcalled on the street. Get over it. You just might not get the promotion. Get over it. But I think that by identifying that sometimes these things have to do with sexism, by bringing that issue to light, we're able to actually change it. If we just pretend that nothing's happening, nothing's ever going to change. And the reason things need to change is that women need to be in these leadership positions. You know, people think that the Catholic Church has all male leadership because only men can be priests, but women have such important roles to play in parishes, right? How often are women the directors of religious education or directors of administration? By bringing our feminine traits to the table, we're going to make the world a better place. But we can't do that if we're consistently being held down. So I think that's kind of the realistic response to Me Too and Time's Up, is to take that and then say, how can we change that, and how can we bring more women up?
So important, such good points. Can women on both sides of the political spectrum get along when it comes to talking about feminism?
Absolutely, as long as you identify what you think feminism means. Because there are women in the world who think feminism means abortion access. That's it, period. We're never going to agree. We'll never be on the same side. But I think if you really break down what feminism means, we find so much in common. Something I tell my listeners a lot is when you're talking to your pro-choice friends, focus on what you agree on. We all agree it's really hard to be a mom. Okay, so where can we go from there? How about we talk about paid paternity leave? How about we talk about affordable childcare? Those are the ways that we're going to lower abortion. And so I think that by finding common ground, we can really easily talk to women on both sides of the spectrum. And we have to, because we have to engage everyone. And it's also a form of evangelization. Like, we're supposed to be spreading the faith. We can't just cut all these people out because we disagree with them and say we're never going to talk to them.
Claire, thank you so much for being with us. Claire Swinarski from the Catholic Feminist podcast. We are so grateful for your words of wisdom and all you do. Have a great day.
Thank you.